Oh yeah, what up? This is my TNA Destination X 2009 pay-per-view predictions. Before I get into my pay-per-view predictions for this TNA pay-per-view that's going to be airing tomorrow night only on pay-per-view, I got to give my thoughts on one unfortunate news subject in the world of wrestling that just happened last night, and that is the passing of Andrew Test Martin. I'm pretty sure everyone at this point already knows about the passing of Andrew Test Martin. I heard about it very late last night, but at that point, it wasn't really confirmed. But now it's unfortunately have been confirmed that Andrew Test Martin did pass away last night, and he died at the age of 33. He was about to just turn 34 within the next 4 days on March 17th, and was never really a fan of Test, but I gotta say, no matter what, if you're a fan of him or you're not, it's definitely sad to hear whenever, and especially in the wrestling industry, since so many wrestlers die at a very young age. It's very unfortunate and very sad to hear the passing of any wrestler, no matter what, especially ones that die at a very young age. And he died, very young at the age of 33. And just gotta say, rest in peace, Test. You did get into wrestling. You did kind of succeed. Like I said, wasn't a really fan of him, but that isn't the case here. It's just, very sad to see another wrestler has died at a very young age, prematurely. Then after this, let me get back into my video main subject here, which is the TNA Destination X pay-per-view predictions. The first match will be the Ultimate X match for the X Division title, with defending champion Alex Shelley versus Suicide versus Chris Sabin versus Jay Lethal versus Consequences Creed. Now, I actually can see this being a very good Ultimate X. For the most part, the Ultimate X matches always deliver, at least for a good portion of all of them. There's been, a few that haven't delivered, but for the most part, they always do deliver. And the talent in here, with Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, Consequences Creed, and even Suicide, which I'm not a fan of the gimmick, but I like the person that's under the gimmick, which is Christopher Daniels at this point. Wish they would just get him out of that. And I do see Suicide winning this match, winning the Ultimate X, becoming the new X Division champion. And even though I see that happening, the thing I would love to see happen after the match, which I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen, which is after the match, after he's kind of like celebrating with his victory, winning the X Division title, becoming the new X Division champion, I would like him to pull his take his mask off and reveal that it's Christopher Daniels under there, as everyone already knows anyway. And I think it would be a good way to have Christopher Daniels return. He'll return as, being an X Division champion. I think at this point, that's probably the best way they can possibly have him return, is him just to reveal himself that he was under the Suicide gimmick, and he's the new X Division champion. I think that would be a good way to have him return, especially in this part within TNA. I think it's a little too late to possibly throw him in the Frontline versus Main Event Mafia feud, since that feud probably doesn't have that much longer left in it. I don't think it would be, that good of a decision to throw Christopher Daniels in there at this point. 2 months ago, I think it could have worked, but not now. So I see Suicide winning that match. Then the next matchup will be the 6-woman tag team match with the beautiful people Angela Love and Velvet Sky teaming up with Madison Rayne versus Roxy, Taylor Wilde, and Daphne. I'm referring to her as Daphne because I really do not want to refer to her as the name she's going under TNA. Whatever it is, the governor, the fake Sarah Palin. I don't just understand why TNA is still running with this. TNA, if this would have actually been okay, and I would have, probably not shit on it as much as I am now if this was back in September or October, where it would at least made sense, and it would have made sense with the current events, with the whole election about to happen, with Sarah Palin being the vice president of John McCain. At least that would have made sense if it was back then. I still wouldn't have liked it, but it would have at least made sense for current events. Whereas now, it's not going to make any sense, and I don't understand why they are doing it. They should just have, after, the whole thing with, they did the thing where, the beautiful people, they were acting like it was really Sarah Palin, and obviously they did the thing where it ended up being Daphne playing Sarah Palin, and I think, they should have just stopped that whole thing. Just have Daphne be herself, because Daphne is a very good performer, but I can't really take her serious in this gimmick. I see the beautiful people and Madison Rayne picking up the victory in this match. Then the next matchup will be the match of 10,000 tacks with Matt Morgan versus Abyss. And last month, me and a lot of people thought that the Matt Morgan Abyss match at the last TNA pay-per-view was going to be, at least a good match. It really didn't deliver. Hopefully, with the match of 10,000 Tacks, that gimmick, hopefully they have a good match. Abyss is always one of those wrestlers, especially in this day and age. He's probably like, the closest thing we'll get to, a crazy Terry Funk or Mick Foley that will like to, pretty much inflict pain on himself to a huge degree. And, he'll obviously go through the thumbtacks. Matt Morgan will pick up the victory in here. The next matchup will be Samoa Joe versus Scott Steiner. And I can see this actually being a, okay, watchable match. Nothing spectacular. Not that much of a fan of, the new direction of Samoa Joe, but they kind of needed to have him have a new direction and a new change up with his gimmick, since he was his gimmick before that was getting pretty stale and he wasn't getting as over as he once was. But you can't really blame that on Samoa Joe. You kind of can blame that on, TNA not giving him the title early enough. They gave it to him too late, and by the time he got it, no one really cared. And then not only that, they had him hold the title for 6 months, but it was a very weak title reign. But with this match, I do see Samoa Joe going over and defeating Scott Steiner. Then the next matchup will be for the TNA Knockouts title with Sojourner Bolt versus Amazing Kong. And I can see this being an okay women's match. This would have been something that would work better on Impact, but really with the Knockouts division now, Amazing Kong really doesn't have any competition. So you have to throw someone in there like Sojourner Bolt, and they did the thing where she got away from the Kong Entourage, and as stupid as that name is for that stable they had with Amazing Kong, or still somewhat have. So it makes sense with her having Sojourner Bolt take on Amazing Kong. I would say for the most part, I would like this to be, Amazing Kong pretty much squashing Sojourner Bolt, but I know you're not going to get that. You're going to get, a back and forth match. But Amazing Kong will walk out of here and still retain the TNA Knockouts title. But they need to really do something with that women's division. Hopefully with Sarah Stock possibly coming into TNA very soon, hopefully that can rejuvenate the TNA Knockouts division. Another thing, possibly get, Melissa Anderson, a.k.a. Cheerleader Melissa, out of the Raisha Saeed gimmick and have her be Cheerleader Melissa. That in Sarah Stock with Amazing Kong. Those three could probably, really rejuvenate the women's division. They would have to do something like that because the women's division is very weak in TNA now, and that's kind of, sad to say because about a year and a half ago, that was pretty much one of the best things TNA was doing, even though most of TNA's booking was terrible at the point. That was one of their best things. Now it's like probably more, at least about the same as the WWE women's division, or maybe even more watered down than the women's division in WWE, and that's kind of sad. Then the next matchup is going to be the TNA World Tag Team title match, the Off the Wagon Challenge with Team 3D versus Beer Money Incorporated, Robert Roode and James Storm. I don't really see this match being anything. I don't think it's going to be terrible. I think it's going to be kind of like the Scott Steiner and Samoa Joe match. It'll at least be watchable. Maybe it will surprise us and be a little better than what some of us might be thinking it's going to be. Team 3D, sometimes can deliver a good match here and there still, and Beer Money Incorporated, as much as I don't like them too as singles competitors, they really work great as a tag team. I see Beer Money Incorporated retain the TNA tag team titles. Then the next matchup will be for the TNA Legends title, which will be AJ Styles versus Booker T. I can see this being good, but Booker T is one of those wrestlers, especially nowadays with Booker T, because Booker T is pretty much past his prime. He's kind of one of those wrestlers of his age now that he can deliver a good match at some points, but he's kind of very inconsistent with it. Hopefully it'll be a good match. AJ Styles is a great performer. Booker T when he wants to be, and sometimes can still deliver a good match. So, this match could potentially be good at least. I see Booker T retain the Legends title. Some shady tactics he'll win, by either holding the tights of AJ, holding onto the ropes, or some interference. Maybe even just have the match end in DQ and Booker T just retain the title like that, because it would be completely pointless to put the title on AJ Styles, because 5 months ago in November, 5 months ago, or about 4 or 5 months ago, they were looking like they were going to build AJ Styles up to be the person to defeat Sting for the TNA World title. Now, AJ Styles is not really doing much. They got him in kind of like, I guess, an upper mid-card feud with Booker T that's not really going to lead to anything. hopefully, they do something better with AJ Styles within the next month or so. TNA really needs to start pushing, Samoa Joe and AJ Styles a little more. I know within the last, two back-to-back weeks they've been getting record ratings of 1.3, but I don't think that has to do anything with the actual product you got going on, or the guys you have in the main event like Sting and Kurt Angle. I think it's due more to the fact that right now it's the month of March. It's right before WrestleMania. A lot of people are more interested in wrestling around this point in the year, and I think that's the reason why TNA is getting those ratings. Now, if they keep getting those ratings and they keep increasing more, I would say about a month after WrestleMania, then you got to kind of say, okay, maybe the direction TNA is going, and maybe the people that are pushing in the main event is the reason why the ratings are like that. I don't think TNA should bank on, the ratings are like that because of the product now. I think it's just because of the point in the year right now, right before WrestleMania. A lot of people are interested in wrestling. Maybe some people are saying, hey, let me give TNA a shot, let me watch it. I think that's the reason why they're getting those ratings. Then the main event of the evening will be for the TNA World Heavyweight title with Kurt Angle versus World Champion Sting. Within this match, it's going to be having a special enforcer of Mick Foley and special referee Jeff Jarrett. Within that case, possibly you're going to see some type of swerve here. I've heard they might have Sting turn full-fledged heel, which might work, but if you look back what WCW did when they tried to turn Sting heel back in WCW, it completely fell flat. And they kind of did try to do it in TNA, and it really never led to anything, or he never was completely a full-fledged heel. It was kind of more of a tweener. And in this match, I think I do see Kurt Angle somehow winning the TNA World Heavyweight title from Sting. Hopefully they don't do no finger poke of doom or something like that, or a lot of swerves in this match, but hey, with this match, with the special enforcer, Mick Foley, the special ref, Jeff Jarrett, and the way they've been kind of building this up, I think everyone's obviously expecting some type of swerve or another, but I can see Kurt Angle winning the title for one reason. I think it will be, better, since they kind of got Kurt Angle and Jarrett still kind of going on, or at least kind of, still building it up and still centering around them a little bit. I think it would be better, have Kurt Angle, win this match, become the TNA World Champion, and then next month at Lockdown have Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle be the final match between each other. It'd be a good way to end it within a steel cage match for the TNA World Heavyweight title, and maybe even have Kurt Angle walk out next month as still World Champion, because I would say I would prefer TNA to have a War Games match next month, since you got the Frontline versus Main Event Mafia. It'd be a perfect time to do it. But from a lot of the rumors, it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing a War Games, unfortunately. So to run through my predictions quick, I see Suicide winning the X Division title. The Beautiful People and Madison Rayne are going to defeat Roxy, Taylor, and Daphne, playing the fake Sarah Palin. Matt Morgan defeating Abyss. Sojourner Bolt losing to Amazing Kong retaining. Samoa Joe to defeat Scott Steiner. Beer Money Incorporated to retain the tag team titles. Booker T, some way or another, is going to walk out still as Legend Champion, whether it's actually pinning AJ Styles or just keeping the title because of disqualification. I see Kurt Angle becoming the new TNA World Champion. And another thing I just wanted to give out, because a couple days ago I saw the movie The Watchmen. I say The Watchmen is an excellent film. It's one of those films that is kind of complex, so if you don't really pay attention to every single part in the movie, you might get lost. And it's one of those movies, if you go by the trailer of it and you don't really know much about The Watchmen, then you're probably going to expect it to be an all-out action film, whereas it's not, and I wasn't even expecting that going in, since I haven't read the novel, but I knew enough about it that it wasn't going to be like a full-fledged action movie. I knew it was just going to be kind of like some great action scenes in it like you got with a very great story. And the main thing I would say is worth going to see it. A lot of people said, the reason why The Dark Knight was so great was because of Heath Ledger's portrayal as the Joker. Within this movie, the character that really made it was the character Rorschach. And everything Rorschach did in the movie was just excellent every time, and just a great character. Overall, a very good movie. But, it's very long. It's about 2.5 hours, close to 3 hours almost. And I thought it was a very good movie. I would definitely recommend it to everyone. If you're not a fan of very long movies, then you might not want to see it. And if you're expecting it to be a completely full-fledged action film, it's not. And I wasn't expecting that, like I said before. So just wanted to come on here, give my thoughts on the passing of Andrew Test Martin. Unfortunately, that he had to die at the age of 33 at a very young age. Another wrestler dying at a very young age. Very sad to hear. Anytime a wrestler dying that young, just come on here, give my thoughts about the thoughts and predictions of the TNA Destination X 2009 pay-per-view that's going to be airing tomorrow night, and kind of just throwing out my thoughts on the movie The Watchmen. I thought it was very good. Definitely would recommend it. And yeah, that's it. Peace.